Hello everyone, it's Tom the taxi driver, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the 6 things I hate about being a London black cab driver. The first thing I hate about being a London black cab driver is the location. I have to go to London every single day. Hate is a very strong word, but what's kind of limiting about the job is the fact that I have to go to central London every day to work. So this means I either have to live in a relatively close proximity to London or put up with the fact that I might have a long commute. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You have to pay quite a lot of money to live near London, or I have to sacrifice a lot of time by commuting into London. It's one of the drawbacks of the job. I always have to be in London. And as we've seen from the pandemic, with many people who were working in office roles, now working from home, many people who are self-employed or run their own businesses can take their businesses online. Being a taxi driver, you're still stuck to being in London, and just London, because I am trained for London. Despite having an incredibly iconic, versatile vehicle, I can't take that anywhere else. Number 2 is the hours of work. Now this is slightly linked with the fact of being in London, but I generally work later shifts. I work from around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon to about 11 o'clock at night. And it kind of sucks because that evening time is quite a social hour. So if I want to go out with drinks with friends, I've got to then restrict the hours that I then work and then restrict my income. Or my girlfriend works from 9 till 5. So I miss out on that because I'm working well into the evening. You know, I might come through the door at midnight and it's literally from the cab straight to my bed, and think, what kind of a life is this? Yes, I have that morning time when a lot of people have the evening to watch TV, relax, cook dinner. I kind of do that in the mornings. I make myself a nice breakfast. I might then watch TV or whatever in the morning, or engage in a creative project like this, then go to work in the afternoon. So my day is very much the same, but it's just shifted slightly. You might say, well Tom, you're self-employed, you work for yourself, why don't you just go work from 9 till 5, 9 till 6? Now the only problem is getting into London at that kind of time in the morning. If I want to try get into London at 8 o'clock, that instantly doubles my commute. And if I want to come out again at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, that also doubles my commute. So what would normally take me half an hour to get into Central is then up to an hour both ways. So I've lost an hour each day doing that. And then also combine that with the fact that traffic is a lot worse throughout the day. So that then limits how quickly you can get around and move on to the next job. So I find that working in the daytimes, you do earn less. That is a slight trade-off if you do want to have that flexible kind of lifestyle, see your family at the end of the day. Number 3 is access to toilets. Now it's not so bad being a guy because of course there is access to public urinals and various spaces, but I like to drink a lot of water, and nothing is worse when it's incredibly busy and you are so full of, your bladder is so full and you just need to empty. But there's work on the street, you're nowhere near the usual toilet or wherever you go to, or you go to a toilet in a petrol station and it's out of order. It is a little bit sporadic and it can take a little bit of getting used to, but it's definitely one of the downsides to the job. Number 4 is lunch and dinner options. When you're in the cab, you can bring your own packed lunches, sandwiches, whatever, but nothing beats having a hot meal. I do have a portable stove that I bring in my cab, but I'm limited to the kind of options of food that I can have. Because if I put a curry in that stove, that then smells out the cab, and of course it's my working vehicle. It's not a pleasant experience if someone gets in the cab and it stinks of curry. So of course you're then forced to eat out. And also if I want to go out and eat healthy, it's quite hard to go and find somewhere that might be open 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, that is relatively healthy. You can see why people fall into fast foods, eating lots of meal deals, and just generally not that great for you food. And if I do find somewhere that is relatively healthy, you can expect to pay a small premium for that privilege. So it's not quite as flexible as working in an office where you might have a canteen, where you have a microwave where you can warm up all your pre-made food, and being able to eat in quite a relaxed environment. Number 5 is other cab drivers. Yes, it's arguably one of the good things about the service that we provide. We all have the same standardized level of knowledge, we all have the same vehicle and able to take the same passengers, but from one driver to the next, everyone's standards are slightly different. Some drivers might have a broken credit card machine. Some drivers might have a faulty disabled ramp, or they might just have a disgustingly dirty cab. So the only problem is that it's quite hard to unify all these drivers and have some kind of set standard. Arguably it's something that TfL would love to do, that if every driver all played in line and all had the same conformity, but then it takes away from the edge of the job, the fact that we are our own boss. What also sucks as well is the etiquette that comes with other cab drivers. If you know British cultural norms well enough, you know that we love a queue, and the queue must always be abided by. If you look at a taxi rank at a major train station, you will see a queue of cabs. The person at the front gets the job, followed by the next person, and so forth. The same happens on the street, and also in the similar token is that if you've just recently had a job, you are then expected to allow other cab drivers near you with their lights on that are searching for jobs to then come in front of you and then effectively skip the queue. You know, you've already been served, you've been to the bar, you've got your drink, let someone else come to the front and they can then take what is then theirs. But of course, not every cab driver plays by this. This of course is an etiquette, so it's not a hard and fast rule, it's not against the law for anyone to stitch up another cab driver, but it's one of the things that does suck if you're already having a bad day and a cab driver stitches you up. Nothing worse. And finally, number 6 is that the job of being a cab driver is non-stop. It doesn't stop. When you are driving a cab, you have to drive the cab to earn money. There's the old saying that if your wheels aren't turning, you aren't earning. So you have to be physically engaged to then be earning money. But secondly as well, if it's not very busy, you want to stay out longer, you want to stay working longer and harder to try and find a job because it's not so busy. You need to chase that money. But on the opposite side, if it is busy, if there is a lot of work on the streets, you will still work just as hard because you don't want to miss out on the job. Greed takes over. You want to earn as much money as you can whilst you are in town. So as a result, you never stop. You never say, if it's quiet, I'm going to go hole up in the cab somewhere, or if it's busy, I'll turn that down and I'll go sit around the corner for an hour. No. When you come to work, you've come to work. So it's quite hard to actually stop and relax whilst you're at work. The only time you can really truly relax is when you're at home, cab's parked up, you are off. You have turned off the job. But when you are driving, it is very much go, 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 non-stop. And that's probably one of the things that I hate the most about the job. Arguably, personal circumstances, it's how you interpret it and perceive it. It always keeps going in the back of your mind. If there's money to be earned, then yeah, you will keep going. Thank you once again for watching this video. Please do check out some of my other videos where I talk about the nuances of being a London cab driver, or perhaps some of my other videos where I share with you my working shift as a London black cab driver. Take care. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.